Hey, sweetheart, it's okay. Accidents happen. Let me help you pick these up. We'll get everything back in the bags, I promise. 25-year-old Saffron Hayes knelt on the sidewalk beside the small girl who dropped her grocery bags, apples and oranges rolling across the pavement, the child's face crumpling with frustration and embarrassment. Saffron had 3 more deliveries to make before her shift ended, already running late, but something about this little girl's silent distress made stopping the only possible choice. The girl, maybe 4 years old, with dark curls and eyes that held surprising intelligence, watched Saffron's lips intently, then began moving her hands in careful gestures. Sign language. The child was deaf. Saffron's heart clenched with recognition and something deeper, empathy born from experience. Her younger brother was deaf, and she'd grown up learning ASL, understanding the isolation that came with communication barriers, witnessing how often people simply walked away rather than trying to connect. Saffron signed back carefully. "I'm Saffron. What's your name?" The girl's entire face transformed with shocked delight. She signed lapidly. "I'm Clover. You can talk to me. Most people just stare or walk away. My daddy tries, but he's still learning signs and gets frustrated." For the next hour, Saffron forgot about her deliveries, forgot about the job performance metrics, forgot about everything except helping this lonely child. They collected the scattered groceries, reorganized the bags, and when Clover seemed hesitant to leave, Saffron walked her the 3 blocks home, signing stories and making her laugh with exaggerated facial expressions that were essential to ASL communication.
What Saffron didn't know was that 33-year-old Quillen Mercer, CEO of Mercer Technologies and Clover's exhausted single father, had been watching through the security camera on his phone, seeing this stranger communicate fluently with his daughter in ways he'd been struggling to master for 2 years since Clover's mother left, unable to handle raising a deaf child.
When they arrived at the elegant brownstone, Quillen opened the door, his expression complex with gratitude and something that looked like grief. "Thank you for helping her. I'm Quillen, her father. I saw on the camera that you sign. That's rare." "My brother's deaf," Saffron explained simply. "I've been signing since I was 8. Clover's wonderful, so expressive, so smart. You should be very proud." "I am," Quillen said quietly, "but I'm also overwhelmed. Her mother left because she couldn't accept the diagnosis. I'm trying to learn ASL, but between running the company and being a single parent, I'm failing at both. Clover's isolated because I can't give her what she needs: fluent communication, connection with the deaf community, a parent who doesn't struggle through every conversation." Saffron saw the pain in his admission, not excuses, but honest acknowledgement of limitations. "You're trying. That matters more than you know. Clover told me you practice signs with her every night. That's love, even when it's imperfect." What Saffron didn't share, what seemed irrelevant to this moment, was that she'd applied to graduate school for deaf education, that acceptance letters were arriving this week, that despite her passion for the field, she couldn't afford tuition without significant financial aid. She worked 3 delivery jobs to support her parents and brother, saving nothing for her own dreams. Over the following weeks, something unexpected happened. Clover asked for Miss Saffron constantly, and Quillen, desperate to give his daughter consistent connection with someone who communicated effortlessly, asked if Saffron might visit occasionally, paid, of course, as a sort of informal ASL tutor and companion for Clover. Saffron initially hesitated, uncomfortable with the wealthy family dynamic, but Clover's pure joy at having someone who truly understood her made refusing impossible. She began visiting 3 times weekly, teaching Quillen more advanced signs, playing with Clover, creating the communication-rich environment the child desperately needed. What emerged wasn't transactional, but genuine affection. Quillen learned not just signs, but the deaf culture and community his daughter belonged to. Saffron learned about the complicated grief of single parenthood and the way love persists despite inadequacy. And Clover flourished, finally having consistent access to fluent communication and acceptance.
Then came the day Saffron received her grad school acceptance letter, full admission to the premier deaf education program. But financial aid covered only 60% of costs. The remaining tuition was impossible. She'd have to decline, defer her dreams again, keep delivering packages while watching others pursue the work she felt called to do. She didn't mention this to Quillen, too proud to seem like she was angling for help. But Clover noticed her sadness and told her father in signs, "Miss Saffron is sad today. Her smile is pretend. Can we make her happy like she makes me happy?" That evening, after Clover was asleep, Quillen asked Saffron directly, "What's wrong? Clover says you're sad, and she's remarkably perceptive about people's emotions." Saffron tried to deflect, but Quillen's genuine concern broke through her defenses. She explained about grad school, about the acceptance she'd have to decline, about feeling trapped between financial reality and vocational passion. "How much do you need?" Quillen asked simply. "No," Saffron said immediately. "I didn't tell you this to ask for money. That's not why I'm here." "I know," Quillen replied gently. "You're here because my daughter dropped groceries and you stopped to help despite being late for work. You're here because you've given her something priceless, the gift of being fully understood, of belonging in her own communication. You've taught me how to actually connect with my child. Let me invest in someone who's clearly meant to help deaf children. Not as payment, you can't pay for what you've given us, but as investment in someone whose work will change lives." What Saffron learned later, what Quillen eventually shared, was that his company had a foundation specifically supporting deaf education initiatives. Her tuition would come from that fund, making it professional investment rather than personal charity, maintaining her dignity while enabling her dreams. And what Quillen learned, what Saffron's presence had taught him, was that the wealth and success he'd built meant nothing if he couldn't truly communicate with his daughter, that hiring the best specialists mattered less than finding someone who genuinely cared, that sometimes the most valuable people in our lives are delivery drivers who stop to help, rather than executives who impress.
A year later, Saffron completed her first year of grad school with honors. She still visited Clover weekly, now as friend and mentor rather than paid tutor. And at Clover's 5th birthday party, surrounded by deaf and hearing children communicating freely in a truly inclusive environment, Quillen watched Saffron teaching sign language games and felt overwhelming gratitude. "You changed our lives," he told her later. "That day with the groceries, if you'd kept driving to finish your deliveries, if you'd picked everything up quickly and left, if you hadn't taken time to truly see my daughter, we'd still be isolated, struggling, disconnected. You gave us more than help. You gave us belonging." Saffron smiled, watching Clover laugh with her friends. "And you taught me that helping one child matters just as much as helping hundreds. That my brother's deafness wasn't something to overcome, but prepared me to see Clover, to understand what she needed. That sometimes our struggles are preparation for someone else's rescue. Clover didn't need fixing, she needed connection. I'm just grateful I was there when she dropped those groceries." Because kindness begins with simply stopping, seeing someone struggle and choosing to help despite inconvenience, taking time we don't have because someone needs us, offering skills we possess to bridge gaps others can't cross. We never know when helping someone pick up groceries might transform multiple lives, proving that our smallest acts of compassion can become someone's turning point if we're brave enough to pause our busy schedules and truly see the person needing help. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.